Hey, what's up everyone? This is Silver Slayer and welcome to your daily silver stacking video. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Weekend video. Every weekend, 8 a.m., 2 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, we're posting on weekdays, noon and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. Mark it on your calendars. Every single day, we're going to be posting some good content, always keeping you in the loop. Very diverse stuff from price manipulation all the way to the silver shortage to more of the economics of it, all the way down to stacking strategies, right? I mean, I cover it all, do unboxings, giveaways, everything under the sun that has to revolve around the world of precious metals. You're going to get it here, folks. So make sure you subscribe. You definitely want to subscribe, not for my sake, for your own. I mean, you're going to get covered with everything. I have several different outlets that show every single post on the internet that has to do with silver. I scroll through all of them every single day. So you're always going to get the most up-to-date information if you are subscribed to this channel. Make sure you like the video. We're going to be talking about an interesting statement from JP Morgan talking about silver's price to average $20.48 in 2022. I mean, that is a very interesting statement, especially since JP Morgan has been extremely bullish on silver in the past. Now, you guys know, very shady company. I do not trust anything they say. They have been caught rigging or manipulating the price of silver for decades. 3 of their employees got sent to prison, not jail, actual prison, racketeering, all these illegal, this illegal stuff, selling people's bank information. They have been caught red-handed in 4K HD of doing all this illegal stuff. And the judges are making the crimes more punishable. Before, it was a slap on the wrist, a little fine, but now bigger fines. People are actually getting sent to prison. So hopefully that makes people second guess or hesitate if they are going to be doing this. It's always going to go on. Wherever there's money involved, there's going to be shady corruptness. But, you know, JP Morgan is definitely the forefront. So you got to take that with some context when you're looking at JP Morgan saying this. They could be saying this to influence other people's perception of silver, just like what they do with spoofing, right? Exactly what they do. How they manipulate the price of silver on these exchanges is they'll set a really high buy order or sell order and then cancel it before it goes through. So the volume on that exchange looks a lot different than it actually will be. And they did it with crypto. Jamie Dimon came out, called Bitcoin a scam, shot Bitcoin's price down thousands of dollars when he came out publicly and said that. And then right afterwards, Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan, got caught buying millions and millions of dollars in Bitcoin right after. Because the blockchain stores every transaction publicly. You can't hide shady stuff like that with crypto. Everything's public. Every buy, every sell, everything's public with crypto because it's decentralized. There's no central bank in control. So that's a prime example. They could be doing the same thing right here with silver, saying a very, very low bearish price. Even given the context of what's going to be happening. I mean, other people are talking about $50, $100 silver. I would never say silver would hit $100 by next year. That's unrealistic. Anyone who's telling you that, you might want to think twice about, what they're saying, because that's just unrealistic. And if it did hit $100 within a year, it would crash extremely hard and probably take years to recover. That's just too high of a price. Now, the physical price of silver definitely could hit $100. Spot price and the physical price is completely different. The physical price of silver, go on Amazon right now, type in American Eagles. People are paying $50 for an American Eagle all day on Amazon, selling like hotcakes. But spot price is $22. So you can see how what it costs to buy an ounce of silver is much different than what spot price is. So if you're talking about $100 silver in 2022 with the physical price, that's a lot more realistic. So anyways, let's look at their explanation of why silver would average $20. And that's the average, which means it would also be lower than this. And if silver ever broke below $20, that psychological $20 level, I would think things would get extremely ugly. You also have to remember, put into context, that for the last decade, the last 10 years, the average price of silver was $15. I've been making daily silver stacking videos on this channel for 6-7 years now. And I remember the first time silver broke past $20 in 2016, the July 2016 high of $21. We were all celebrating on this channel like silver just won the Super Bowl. I mean, and that's crazy to think because now we're desensitized to this $30 price range since, a lot of us got in during that period, the Wall Street silver movement that hopped on board, that $21 silver sounds extremely cheap. So you can see how perspective of when you got into the market could play such a big role in your strategy. Someone got in silver March 2020 when it was $11. Now they look at $22 silver and they're doubling their money. But then you have someone who got in at $30 during the Wall Street silver movement, looks at $20 silver and they're in the red. They've lost 2/3 of their money. So it really does depend on when you got in. Now let's look at this. JP Morgan retains bearish bias for the prices for gold and silver during its latest forecast, projecting an average price of $1,630 per ounce gold and $20.48 for silver in 2022. Expect rebasing higher in long end U.S. nominal yields to weigh on gold over the medium term. So they're talking about dollar index. They're talking about all of this stuff, the CFTC, FOMC, anything that has to do with the dollar's strength is going to affect silver, which I do agree with, but you have to incorporate all the other things as well. So on the same line were comments from Kitco that quotes analysts tracking the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, data to mention hawkish comments from Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell continuing to drive hedge funds away from gold and silver. The latest data shows sentiment in gold is at its lowest point since late October as funds liquidate their bullish bets. So, although precious metals bears are bracing for more gains in 2022, this week's U.S. Federal Reserve monetary policy meeting will be the key to follow clearer directions. So, they're talking about $15 billion, moving it to $30 billion. All of this is an assumption. When they use the word expect or they hope, that's an assumption. That doesn't mean that's true for sure, but it does show that they're trying to. Some people take these numbers and they act like it's fact when in reality that's just what they're aiming for, and it's not. And when that time comes, that's not what really is going to happen. So this is another interesting article we got to look at because it is talking about the dollar index breaking above the ascending triangle to accelerate towards 98. And that's important to look at because this is directly going to affect the price of silver. So it's looking like in the short term, I wouldn't say medium, I would say short. I mean, what is medium term, right? 6 months? What's medium term? Is it a couple of years? What's long term? That's all, I guess, opinionated. So I would say the short term silver is definitely going to be sitting lower. The dollar index is rallying, breaking out a bit, which is going to push. It is going to keep silver lower and gold. But I made a video where they were talking about $130 silver, and I was talking realistically. I think we would see that type of price between the time frame of 2023 moving into 2025. That's when the Green New Deal is going to be in full effect. That's when electric vehicles are going to be in full effect. That's when the silver shortage, people realizing silver's true, dire, extreme, essential necessity in the world is going to be at the top of the line. You won't be able to ignore it like you can right now. And I think that's really when silver's price is going to start to push away, no matter what the dollar index is doing, and no matter what stock market volatility is doing, and no matter what gold's doing. It's funny how gold and silver prices are so closely in tune when they're used for two completely different things, right? Where silver is going to benefit moving forwards, gold has no place. But anyways, let's look at this. The dollar index, also known as the DXY, which measures the greenback's performance against a basket of 6 rivals, it rallies 0.7%, sitting at 96.68. During the day, as the New York day session wanes at the time of writing, the market sentiment was downbeat as Wall Street session closed, with major U.S. equities finishing in the red. And that's following European stock, and that's in its footsteps. In the U.S. bond market, Treasury yields in the short maturity of the curve rise, with 2S and 5S up between 1 and 2.5 basis points, ended at 0.64%. So in the week, the main event for the U.S. dollar was the Federal Reserve monetary policy decision, and they're talking about going from a 0.25% range while increasing the speed, and that's from 15 billion agreed initially up to 30 billion beginning in mid-January of 2020. Initially up to, and that's another word that is not for sure. They're assuming, they're hoping to get to up to 30 billion, but will they actually, when that time comes, is that actually going to be realistic? That's what people are going off of as fact, but it's not fact yet. It's not set in stone. So you can't start adjusting and investing as if that's true yet. Take it with a grain of salt. Additionally, it's released in the Summary of Economic Projections, also known as SEP. Inside report that lies the famous dot plot, which displays the 18 Federal Reserve Board members projecting or projections for the federal fund rates, FFR, in the current year. And they're looking at policymakers expect 3 rate hikes by the end of 2022, projecting the FFR at 0.9%. And the market initially reacted as if the event was a buy the rumor, sell the fact. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. People are going off of the speculation more than what's expected to happen or what will happen, right? They expect, that's what I'm saying, these words, expect, hope, all this stuff. That doesn't mean that that's what's actually going to happen. They expect 3 rate hikes by the end of 2022. Who knows how many? It could be 1, it could be none, it could be 4. So the US dollar index forecast. So this is important to look at because what the dollar index is going to do, gold and silver is going to do. And you can see right here, the chart is showing how gold and silver are going to and have been declining, because look at this, the dollar index has been rising. But there's a reason why my name is Silver Slayer, not Gold Slayer, because if we were just investing into a metal like gold, this would be bad and would stay bad, and there would be not many reasons to be too excited about gold for the future. But when you incorporate something like silver, which is the best of both worlds, which is also gold on steroids, and I say the best of both worlds because no matter whether the economy's in bad or good shape, silver benefits. Gold only benefits if the economy's in bad shape. Silver, whether it's in bad or good shape. Silver also is like gold on steroids because it's a much smaller market, so it rises much higher than gold, but also crashes more than gold, which is also why it's called the devil's metal. But you can't really call it that, or a riskier version of gold, which others say. When you're talking about precious metals, nothing is risky, quote unquote, in my opinion. So yeah, I mean, when you're looking at this stuff, you really got to you got to take it with a grain of salt when the FOMC or Federal Chairman Jerome Powell comes out and says numbers when they're saying words like expect, saying 3 rate hikes by the end of 2022. I mean, all of that you have to take very lightly. It's like the weatherman throwing out a forecast. Is he accurate most of the time? Especially when it comes to this stuff. and a wrench could get thrown in, the unknown variable. Something could happen and probably will happen. They could throw prices way off. We're acting like we know every situation that's going to be happening by the end of 2022. We have no idea, especially right now. Times are so crazy. Things change on a day-to-day basis. So imagine a year-to-year basis. Things are definitely going to be changing, and I'm sure this 3 rate hike thing, even within a couple of months, is going to be so off just because how much other how many other situations are going to be at play by then, how many new things are going to be arising on the forefront. I mean, you really got to think about it realistically, right? So anyways, yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you thought it was educational, informational, at least entertaining, make sure to hit the like button. I post daily videos. Like I said, 8 a.m., 2 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern Standard on weekends, noon and 6 p.m. on weekdays. Every single day. Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.